up, guys? Back again with another UFC video on the UFC Fight Night card, BELFORT vs GASTELUM, and this video is going to be all about the FS1 Prelims. So let's go ahead and get started here. First fight is Michael Prazeres against Joshua Berkman. We got Prazeres here, who really likes going for those takedowns. Good ground game, but primarily just like to take you down. You know, either work for a submission or just kind of beat you up on the ground. And then he's fighting against Josh Berkman here. He used to fight at 170, and I think this is his second fight at 155. His first fight was his first fight and debut at 155 was against Paul Felder, in which he lost the decision, but it was a very close fight. Berkman's obviously a veteran. You know, been fighting for a while now. I mean, you could tell by his record there. You know, he's well-rounded. Striking's not horrible. Good takedown defense. Also has some good takedowns of his own. You know, comes from that wrestling background. What else? He also has some good submissions. I remember when he caught John Fitch with that you know, guillotine choke, I think it was. So, you know, he does have some submissions in case, you know, Prazeres takes him down. He'd go for that guillotine or something like that. But I'm gonna go ahead and side with Berkman on this one, guys. You know, he's the underdog here. Now, I'm picking him because I think he has a chance of winning, and because I'm gonna play him on DraftKings. So, you know, just to let you guys know how I, you know, make my picks most of the time. A lot of time it's based on DraftKings and, you know, how cheap, like how good of a value I can get off them on DraftKings and whatnot. But I think Berkman can win. I think he's gonna be the better striker. Obviously veteran, more experience. Also very good take on the fence. Like I'm saying, it's gonna be hard for Prazeres to take him down. Prazeres in his last fight beat up Gilbert Burns, but you know, Gilbert Burns, I remember I picked him to win, and that fool kind of let me down there. Like, he didn't look that good. But I think Berkman will be able to keep the fight on the feet, and on the feet he should be better. He's going to be the bigger fighter, has obviously big height advantage, big reach advantage. But Prazeres, like I said, this guy's like a little tank, man. He just really goes for those takedowns. But, you know, I don't really think, like I said, he's going to be able to get him too easily on Berkman. And even if he does, Berkman could threaten with some sort of choke, like I'm saying. But I really think the fight will be staying on the feet for, you know, a bit longer than Prazeres probably would like. And Berkman will have his chance to, you know, outpoint Prazeres, even potentially going for a takedown of his own. Prazeres doesn't have exactly really good takedown defense, so Berkman, also being a really good wrestler, could maybe mix up his striking with a takedown. So, you know, I think Berkman has a real shot at winning this fight. Obviously Prazeres is the favorite though, but you know, as an underdog pick and as a cheap DraftKings pick, I'm gonna go ahead and take Berkman on this one, guys. Now I don't really see a finish happening here, so I think Berkman more than likely will win this fight by decision or split decision. If he does get the win, if not, Prazeres will probably end up winning by decision. But that's gonna be my pick for that fight, guys. So let's go ahead and move on to the next fight. Next fight we got Ronnie Yaya versus Joe Soto. Alright, so for this fight we got two good grapplers at 135. Soto's coming off 2 wins. Yaya, I think, is on a win streak right now. You know, both of them looking good. Soto's coming off a first round submission, and Yaya, I think, is coming off a decision win. But let me go ahead and make sure real quick. Yep, decision win against Tanaka. Before that, he had a submission against Matthew Lopez. So Yaya's very low volume. You know, he really tries to get that takedown pretty much. As you can see, he landed 7 takedowns on Tanaka, landed 3 on Matthew Lopez, 4 on Kanehara, and so on. So, you know, he lands about 3 takedowns average per fight. Obviously relies a lot on his takedowns. His striking's not too good. You know, pretty stiff, kind of like a stiff multi type of an attack. Not too sharp. I think Soto here has the better stand-up. He has way better boxing, way more output, pretty much almost double, or no, actually, yeah, more than double his output. If you look at that, 3.38 to 1.27. So, you know, that's more than double his output. So Soto throws a lot more. He's the better striker, and on the ground he's also not as bad. So I think the fight's gonna have to play out on the feet. If Yaya does go for a takedown, Soto is dangerous off his back. Both these guys are good on the ground, so I think it's gonna have to, you know, I think the ground game's gonna have to be negated. But I think Yaya's only chance of winning is by using his ground game here. So he's gonna really try to go for the takedown, and I think Soto might be able to catch him with some sort of submission, or he'll defend the takedowns good enough, you know, obviously get back on his feet and land the more effective strikes. So I think Soto here has the better chance of winning. I would say he's the better striker, and you know, he's good on the ground just like Yaya is. So I think Soto here should be able to get the fight. You know, he should be able to go, have the fight go his way. So I'm going to pick Soto here. It's going to be either could be a quick early submission if they're both fresh and you know they engage in the grappling. Maybe Soto could catch him with something really quick, like in his last fight where he got that first round submission with a heel hook, or it could be like a third round submission or just a decision win for Soto. Probably a split decision win because it's in Brazil. But I do think Soto is capable of getting the win here, and I think he has a very good shot of winning here. So I think Soto wins, and I'm gonna go ahead and just say Soto by decision. So Soto by decision, but it does have a chance of, you know, obviously coming out with some sort of submission. All right, next now for the next fight, Sergio Moraes versus Ramos. Two very good grapplers. Ramos coming in short notice here. Sergio is looking pretty, you know, he's not looking too good, but he is on a win streak right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at it real quick. This guy has a weird style. Anyways, he had his last fight was a split decision win against Zach Otto. A lot of people thought Otto won the fight. Before that, Chagas, it was a split decision, but it was a draw. I think Chagas lost a point in that fight. I think that's why I went to a split decision. I think that's why I went to the draw. Otherwise, Chagas would have won. He had a third round finish against Akhmedov. But yeah, you know, his win streak isn't too impressive besides that Magny win, but that was a long time ago, before Magny was, you know, obviously climbing up the ladder. Davi Ramos, he's making his UFC debut. He's obviously a smaller guy in height, but you know, he's stocky, got a good amount of muscle on him. Very good grappler. I want to say he's probably a better grappler than Sergio here. But on the feet, you know, he just throws a lot of power strikes. You know, maybe he could catch Moraes on the feet. I think it's gonna be a close fight. You know, I think Sergio's too low output, you know, to really do a lot of damage. You know, I mean, look at the strikes per minute. He has 2.28. That's very low. He doesn't have a very high output, and his fights are always very close. So I think Ramos here, if he starts off fast, maybe gets a knockdown or something like that, he's going to be able to win the rounds. As far as the takedowns, you know, Sergio doesn't really go for much takedowns if you look at his stats there. His last fight, he did have one takedown, but before that, you know, he doesn't really go for the takedowns. He really likes to keep it on the feet, throw some strikes. And on the feet, I wouldn't say he's that good, but I want to say he probably does have a slight advantage here on the feet. Just like a bit more technical, but Ramos for sure has the more power advantage here. But I'm going to go ahead and just pick the underdog here because I'm going to play him on DraftKings. I think Ramos could make it close, could maybe win the fight here. So I'm going to pick Ramos to win, and I think it's probably going to be by decision. But it could be, it's kind of like similar to the Yaya and Soto fight. Could be maybe a quick finish and early in the round, or maybe a late finish, or probably a decision. But I'm going to go ahead and just say Ramos by decision. Alright, now for the featured fight on the FS1 Prelims, guys. We got Francisco Trinaldo versus Kevin Lee. So we got two guys here that are looking pretty good recently. Trinaldo, I think, is on a 7-fight win streak. It could be an 8-fight win streak. So he's on a big win streak right now. Trinaldo here is primarily a good multi-striker. I think he's getting older right now. I think right now he's like 38 or 37. Let me go and take a look here. Yeah, 38 years old. Punching power and heart. His summary there. Ranked number 11 at lightweight. Kevin Lee's not even ranked yet. But as you can see, yeah, he has a good amount of wins right there in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 wins in a row. This could be his 8th win. We're going to have to see about that. His last fight against Paul Felder, he had a round, obviously a 3rd round TKO doctor stoppage there. Entertaining fight. You know, it was a close fight, but obviously they stopped the fight due to a cut. Before that, he had a really good fight, a really good fun fight against Yancy Medeiros, where he really beat the fuck out of him pretty much. Let's just go ahead and say that. Beat up Ross Pearson, knocked out Chad Laprise. So you know he's been looking pretty good recently, even for his age, man. Only 38 years old. Well, actually, not really just only, but you know he's 38 years old and he's on a damn 7-5 win streak right now. It's like he's in his fucking prime. But then we got Kevin Lee here, impressive record himself, a lot younger, 24 years old. That's 14 years younger. Huge reach advantage also, 77-inch reach compared to 70-inch reach. Summary wrestling, boxing, and my all-around style. He's on a 3-fight win streak. His last loss, he actually got knocked out in the first round. He got a little cocky with Leonardo Santos, and man, he got knocked out. Like, that was very unexpected. A lot of people did not see that coming. I think Kevin Lee was a big favorite in that fight, and yeah, that was very unexpected there. Anyways, he bounced back, obviously. Had a win against Escudero by decision, and then he had a first-round knockout against Jake Matthews, which that was also a very surprising win there. And then second-round submission against Magomed Mustafa. So, you know, he's looking good right now also. He likes to mix it up. Obviously, he has good takedowns. Go ahead and check out his stats here. But yeah, I think this fight is going to be a fun fight, but at the same time it could be a boring fight. I think Kevin Lee here is going to make it a little bit boring. I think he's going to want to use his wrestling, as you can see in his last fight against Magomed Mustafa. He had 7 takedowns landed, a shit ton of passes, and he had that second round submission. Magomed here, you know, he's Russian. Obviously he has to have some good wrestling, freestyle wrestling or whatever, but he was, I think he was primarily, you know, a striker here in the UFC. As you can see, he has, you know, knockouts in his record against Hallman and then against Joe Proctor, first round knockout. So he was really showing off his striking in the UFC. So Kevin Lee exposed him, took him to the ground where he was weak, and obviously just beat him up on the ground and whatnot and got that submission. So I think Kevin Lee here is going to expose Trinaldo's takedown defense. On paper, Trinaldo's takedown defense doesn't look too good. A lot of people, a lot of his recent guys that he's fought are not good wrestlers, so they do not impose the takedown. Pearson got 2 takedowns, and obviously Pearson's not really a wrestler. Against Norman Park, he actually got taken down 4 times, so this guy can be taken down. His last loss to Michael Chiesa had 2 takedowns on him, and against Piotr Hallman, that guy landed 2 takedowns on him. And against Gleison Tibau, a big powerhouse, a guy that really likes to take people down, he had 5 takedowns on Trinaldo. So Trinaldo can be taken down. He's primarily just a good multi-striker, but man, he's been looking really good recently. Like I said, for his age, you know, he's like at his prime right now pretty much. But I think Kevin Lee here, guys, this guy's obviously a young guy here coming up. I think he's going to come in hungry. He really wants that win. He's going to be smart. He's going to use his wrestling. And I think he's going to be able to get the win here, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Kevin Lee. And I think Kevin Lee, more than likely, is going to win by decision. But you never know. Maybe he could just batter Trinaldo on the ground, get a TKO. Or maybe work for a submission. I mean, Trinaldo, I'm not too sure if he has BJJ black belt. I'm trying to look here real quick. He has a brown belt in Jiu-Jitsu, but I haven't really seen much of his ground game. Not too much submissions on his record. Black belt in kickboxing, but I mean he is a good kickboxer, man, good striker. But I think Kevin Lee is going to use his sharp boxing, obviously go for the takedown and just win the fight like that, using his ground game pretty much. So Kevin Lee could be a finish or a decision. I don't know, man. Trinaldo seems pretty durable too, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say Kevin Lee by decision, guys. Fuck it, Kevin Lee by decision. All right, guys, so that's it for my picks. To recap here real quickly, I'm going with Berkman by decision, Soto by decision, and Ramos also by decision, and Kevin Lee by decision. So 4 decisions here. Wouldn't be surprised if there's some finishes here and there though. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for my picks for the FS1 prelims. Stay tuned for the main card picks, which I will be releasing tomorrow. So stay tuned, and also subscribe if you're a new viewer. I do these UFC fight pick videos every time there's a UFC card, so stay tuned. And yeah, that's going to be it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.